Scorch came back with his 5th episode. Now, the last time I did Scorch on the show, people were not happy with me because the audio was terrible. And I decided to just push through it and persevere. Well, I'm happy to say that episode 5, they fixed the audio problem. But for whatever reason, Scorch took the episode down and took it off of YouTube. And I don't know why. But our buddy John Marlowe was able to save it and send it over to me. So thank you to John Marlowe for sending this to us. You cannot find this on the web. You can only see it here on WATP. It's a WATP exclusive. And it starts off, it's weird because Scorch has this opiate. Are you familiar with who Scorch is at all, EDR?
No, sir.
Okay. Scorch is a morning disc jockey. He's bounced from market to market to market. Most recently in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, where he was just fired at the turn of the year. And now he's doing this thing that he produces himself called PFG-TV, which stands for Pretty Fucking Great Television. And he's done this up in the Boston area. He was in Syracuse for a while. When he was in Syracuse, a young Sam Roberts was doing an internship with him. And then Sam Roberts went on to do an internship with Opie and Anthony. And he kind of introduced Opie and Anthony to this guy Scorch. And they started playing clips from his show. And so the Opie and Anthony fans really embraced this guy as the worst morning radio host of all time. Just a terrible personality. Not funny or interesting in any single way. He's just got one of those radio voices. So he gets away with being a radio guy for that. So he's been trying to do this PFG TV thing for a couple of decades now, where he thinks he's going to get picked up by HBO or something. And so he's back to doing that. And he's putting it up on YouTube. But he cannot get rid of the Opie and Anthony haters. And they're obviously living rent-free because he's constantly bringing them up and talking about them like he did at the very beginning of episode 5.
What I want to show you guys is I want to prove a point that not every band that plays on Scorch's PFG-TV is going to be a freaking rock band.
No.
Because we want so much diversity. This show, even though the O&A people are going to pick on this all night long, you know what? This show does go worldwide, or at least it has the potential to go worldwide. So we want, thank you. Mom, I appreciate that. So we want people, we want to do things that can appeal to the masses. So it doesn't have to be rock. We have a rap guy coming out in a couple.
A rap guy? This guy really knows the lingo. Yeah, a rap guy's coming up soon.
We have the whole variety of all of it. We don't want to just go to one genre. We want all of the things.
We have Zamfir, the pan flute guy, coming on soon.
Yes.
That's going to be good. Zamfir, yep.
The pan flute
going to be a minstrel show.
You know that Zamfir guy used to have a commercial that ran. He was like one of the guys that sold the most albums. They always say compared to like Elvis and the Beatles. Yeah. And he played like the pan flute sort of thing. And I didn't even know that guy was still around or still alive. You know, I don't know how long
nobody
ago
does.
This is from, but still.
No, this is brand new. This is brand new. It's not a popular thing.
That guy was around.
Not a popular thing at all. So I love that he says, this could go worldwide. You guys are going to make fun of me for saying that because he used to say that he was getting syndicated in England and stuff with his old show. Yes. So he's like, I know the old O&A fans are going to goof on me. You took it off the internet. It can't possibly go worldwide now, Scorch. You have to realize that. So episode 2 we never talked about, but Christian Blatt sent me a time code. This is still up online. And Christian said, his audio was actually pretty good because in 1 it was terrible, 3 it was terrible. But I guess 2 was pretty good. And again, he's addressing the O&A fans here. He can't help himself.
Hang out with us.
What I want to do now, this is going to be fun. And I'll be dead up honest as I always am. On the feed, on the YouTube channel, there is a chat room. And then you can make comments. The chat room. By
the way, the audio is still terrible. You can hear the crowd more than him.
I love
no one's paying attention.
Yeah. Nobody. That's what's so great.
We're just milling
It's
about.
like at a mall food court.
Yes.
It's like a Subway.
Tried to print out for ourselves, and I couldn't get it printed out. The chat room lambasted us. The chat room just, oh my God, the chat room just killed us.
EDR, you've done comedy all over the U.S. I'm sure you do morning shows. You used to do a lot of morning shows, right? To promote gigs you had coming up. Have you run into this type of morning DJ before?
Well, it's funny because, I used to do mornings. I did radio for about 20-something years. And it's funny. And I think one of the reasons why I got to do it a long time is because I have a very non-radio, slightly annoying voice. But a guy like this, I could only listen to for a short time. And a matter of fact, in Rochester, there's a guy that has a scraggly Wheeze voice, and he was the only one that could get away with it, you know. But a lot of these radio guys, they refuse to not be in the limelight. They just cannot stop doing anything.
Correct.
And they all think they can do television and stand up, by the way.
Yes, that is 100%. So let's see what Scorch has to say here.
But then the comments.
Listen to this.
Listen to some of these comments from last week's show. These are great. Here's one. I watched this show with my second, better wife. Glad to see the naked militia still marching.
Yes.
This is a good one. Opie and Anthony, unemployed. Scorch, 100% PFG.
Well, Opie's unemployed. I mean, Anthony owns his own company, but all right.
Scorch, greater than Opie and Anthony.
That's funny. I like that he goes, there's some pretty funny comments in here. Like, look at this. I'm better than Opie and Anthony. Scorch is the greatest.
It's hilarious.
These are good comments.
Eat your heart out, Opster.
Yeah, Opster.
I know you're reading this.
Yes, he does.
Poor
Opie's not reading this. Scorch, come on.
Who's the lady yelling stuff out after him?
Robin.
It's like the deacon at a Baptist church. And
Right,
he's
yes.
preaching to go, that's right, go ahead. You know, just stop.
So that's his co-host Holly, and I have some clips I'm going to play for in a moment. They have no chemistry together. She's the worst co-host ever.
Opie, he's getting crapped up. More views than Opie.
When you talk a lot of crap about one person, they're going to give it right back to you.
And we know last week didn't look the best. Oh my God, this is fantastically awful. was one of them. The O&A people say welcome back from the Opie and Anthony Reddit. PFG-TV is back. Long live the king. And F Sam, I don't want to get into that.
He doesn't want to touch Sam Roberts. That's what F Sam stands for. He actually knows that guy, so he's not going to get into it. All right. I'm sorry. Let's get back to the show where you actually hear him and people seem to be paying attention a little bit. He's not just next to a crowded bar trying to do his show. That actually sounds like Opie's show from Gebhardt's.
It does.
So he does this thing called Effed Up Facts. And Effed Up Facts, you would think would be things that you'd go, holy shit, I would never have guessed that was a fact. But it's just the opposite. It's you'd be like, yeah, that checks out. So
it's like normal medicine.
Yeah, so right. So here's one of them.
75% of people, this is a good one, 75% of people, I bet you, as I look around, almost everybody in here, if not everybody, will agree with this. 75% of people would eat a barbecue dinner at least once a week, every week.
I bet 3 out of 4 of you would agree with this thing. It's like, yeah, well, that's what you're saying. 35% of people would eat barbecue 1 day a week. Okay, fine, right. Whatever. So now we get.
How about the percentage of people who don't care?
Well, yeah. My favorite thing here in EDR, you'll appreciate this since you have the radio background. These radio guys don't know how to get crowd participation going because they're so busy just talking out into the void. So he's so bad at this.
Absolutely. I was. Yeah, no.
Okay, yell out loud. What do you want barbecue? Fish, chicken, beef. What do you want? Chicken people. How many people chicken? Chicken. Beef, yeah. Everybody wants their beef. A couple people want chicken.
Wait your turn, beef.
What'd you say?
He's not a meat eater.
Barbecue pork, I guess, is okay.
Pork is my favorite.
Oh my God. Holly's just like, nah, shut up, Holly. No one cares what your favorite is. He goes, shout out what you like. And then he's like, oh, that's not going to work. Oh, how about chicken people? All right, this half.
Listen, there's only a finite number of things you can barbecue, so he's going to run out pretty quick, you know?
Right, yeah. Did he say
stop
fish?
Yelling that stuff
Was that
out.
the first thing he said?
Fish?
Barbecue fish. Okay. Always my favorite. You know what? I hate to say it, but it kind of reminds me of when we saw Chrissy Mayer in Buffalo.
Uh-oh.
And we went to that place. And Chrissy Mayer went up and did her stand-up set. Right. And then the owner thought that he was going to get up and do a set. And so they just like start talking and they're talking to the crowd. And people are just yelling things out. It's like, this isn't a show. What are you doing?
It was so awkward.
It's so awkward. So this is a fun conversation starter for you. This is a question you can't possibly answer.
The average American child eats 62 pounds of pasta every year. How many pounds of pasta do you eat every year? Oh, your kids. It's going to be kids. How many pounds of pasta do your kids eat per year?
I don't know. I'm a gluten-free.
Oh, are you really one of those?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not on purpose. No, it's not fair. I was diagnosed with
Oh, please.
He goes, how many pounds of pasta do your children eat every year? She goes, I don't know. I'm gluten-free. So actually you do know. It's 0. You're actually the only person who does know the answer to that dumb question.
Oh, listen. And then she starts screeching there towards the end.
Yes.
It's like a smoke detector, for God's sake.
It's obnoxious in every single way. EDR, how many pounds of pasta do you eat in a typical year?
Probably 0.
Okay.
I'm pretty
See, that's the only way you
don't
would
eat anything.
That's the only way you would know the answer to that is if you don't eat any pasta at all. Otherwise,
Right, that's it. Yeah, I mean, do you really want to be hanging out with someone that knows the exact amount of food they eat every year for everything? How many Cheerios do you eat?
It's such a bizarre thing. So he wants to bring up these effed up facts. And he doesn't know what to do with them. Because on the radio, they just read it. They go, okay, they move on. So he's trying to get a conversation started going, how about you? Like, I don't, not sure about that. All right. So now he's got some marriage advice for us, even though him and Holly both have never been married.
A recent study says millennials are getting divorced 18% less than the previous generation. You know why? Because they're wising up and they're not even getting married.
Yeah,
because remember,
15% less get married.
No, don't whoa me.
No,
you're getting it here for free.
Yes.
Don't whoa me. The bottom line, no, you can whoa if you want, but the bottom line is stay with somebody as long as you want. Have kids with somebody as long as you want.
Yes.
Do yourself a favor. Never sign that paper. That paper is a death warrant for your relationship. I'm telling you.
You and I have never been married, right?
Hell no.
We have a strong, we have a strong.
Hey, kind of trailed off there at the end there, Holly. What were you trying to say?
Yeah, I don't see why anyone would marry Holly.
Well,
she's adorable.
What's crazy about this, so Scorch in his dumb brain has figured out that because 50% of marriages end in divorce, marriage ruins relationships, not realizing that 90% of relationships end.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So it's just like, well, he goes, stay with someone as long as you want, have kids with someone as long as you want. What is that? I don't know what that means.
Until you kill them.
That's fucking stupid.
Well, it's here's the thing. You're never supposed to carry before you marry. That's the rule. You don't.
Right.
You don't do that because then you're not really a family and it only causes trouble in the end. That's the worst advice anybody could give.
It is bad. You're right. It is bad advice. If you're going to have kids, commit to that shit.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
You know?
Sorry, producer Chris.
I mean, I know it's nature, but we're not outside.
All right. Are you guys ready for some more effed up facts? This is about tobacco use.
The amount of people that use tobacco products every year has decreased every year for the past 20 years, which is great.
How is that an effed up fact? I would have predicted that. Do you think tobacco use is up or down? It's definitely down.
Big Tobacco thinks it's fucked up.
Dude, I still think it's hilarious. We've been flying recently that they still have the no smoking signs light up on airplanes.
Every fucking time.
Yeah. There are 3 generations of people who get the airplane just like, who would even think that you could have a cigarette in here?
There's no ashtray.
Insane.
Give me a break.
Yeah, what the fuck? It's so stupid.
Oh, man.
All right, so then Scorch goes off because, Scorch is a big weed guy. So he's got some interesting pointers for us here.
Because you know what?
They're all vaping now.
Tobacco's not good for you. I say stick to the ganj. Right?
Ganj.
Stick to the ganj because ganja can never hurt you. It's a plant.
So is tobacco. Scorch. That's not a good point.
And
that wasn't a very good point.
He's expecting such uproarious fucking applause
I know.
for that.
Dude. And he acts like this is like a controversial take.
Yeah, so edgy.
That, check this out.
And if this pisses people off, so be it. They give cannabis to people that get cancer from smoking cigarettes. They don't give tobacco to people that get cancer from smoking cannabis. There's something messed up with that picture. Think about that. It only makes sense. I only speak whether you smoke it or not. Facts are facts. There you go. So, hey.
It's not the 70s anymore. You're not surprising anyone with this information.
Well, what's funny too, guys, is like he's just not a likable guy.
No, he's
just not likable.
Okay.
I mean, if you're likable, I'll listen to anything you say.
Right. So when you're a personality on the radio, the important part is to be a likable personality. And this is the thing that Chad Zumach doesn't understand too. It's just like, oh, I'm the guy who's the asshole that everyone dislikes. Like, yeah, that's why we don't listen to you, because it's not, I don't like you. So it's not fun.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're gonna go into break. This is what's insane about this show. So Effed Up Facts is a bit they do, but then everything else they do revolves around the sponsors. So every guest they have works for one of the companies that sponsors or owns the company that sponsors, and all they do is talk to them about their business and their work. And all he does is read off sponsors and shows the logo and talks about them. And then for some reason thinks he's going into break. He thinks it's a TV show or something.
And we're going to tie that into something that Holly recently did for a living. And it's all coming up next on Scorch's PFG-TV. We're coming right back.
All right, so we're watching this on YouTube, and now we have a weird thing where some guy's running across the stage trying to fix something, and then it fades to black, and this just stays black for 45 seconds. It's like, dude, you're on YouTube. Why are you going to break? What kind of break do you think this is? I'm sure he thinks in his dumb head this is going to get picked up by a network at some point, and we're gonna, if we already have the commercial breaks in here, that'll make it
I called it TV. That makes it TV.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Of course. So then they come back and do a segment about the fruits and vegetables that are the most contaminated at the supermarket. And as they're finishing that up, you get a sense for the chemistry between Scorch and Holly here.
Or actually a couple days ago, and all the strawberries are like beautifully red, and then halfway up, there's this much white.
Also, the producing on this is terrible. Holly's talking, and they have the one shot zoomed in on Scorch here. I mean, they could have any other shot would make more sense than this as he's drinking his water.
Or actually a couple days ago, and all the strawberries are like beautifully red, and then halfway up, there's this much white.
Yep.
I'm like, why are you even bothering? Because I know it's going to taste like crap. It's going to be the worst thing in the world. I'm like, why even bother until it's that time of year?
He's tuned out. He's tuned out.
Yeah.
Who knows what's floating on there?
Yep.
I don't want to know.
Floating on strawberries. That's lovely. Hey, you know, speaking of contaminated stuff, this is something I want to open Holly up a little. This doesn't sound. I want to open Holly up a little bit.
Oh my.
Well, you guys are a good audience tonight. Holy crap.
They got it.
Every little dirty every little dirty innuendo that I'm not even trying to do, you guys are responding to.
I like
so that's
you guys.
good.
You weren't trying?
No.
Pretty good stuff. He's like, oh, I heard someone giggle in the back. What's got you laughing over there?
Share with the rest of us?
Yeah, right.
And it doesn't take much to impress Holly. We're finding that out.
No, it does not. But did you notice that he just repeated the last thing she said? You saw the moment when he tuned out. She's like, yeah, and then you get these strawberries and they have this. He's just like, no, yeah, floating on strawberries. So anyway, talk about contaminated.
She's the Brendan Schaub of this world.
Right, yeah, just, okay, whatever you say. So apparently she used to clean hotel rooms or motel rooms. This is a big step up for her being on PFG-TV. And so he asks, can you tell a story about the most contaminated room? And she tells this story about there were these guys hitting on her and her friends. And they said, we're staying at this motel right there. And she goes, oh, I actually work there. And they go, oh, well, you want to come back with us? She goes, no, we're not going back with you. So they shit in the mini fridge.
As one does.
That was her big story. I'm like, well, we've got a long way from contaminated fruit.
Still, that's pretty awesome.
God damn. So it's still this freaking cold. It's killing me. All right. So the first guest, as I mentioned, is a sponsor of the show, and it happens to be the Realtor. We talked about this on a recent episode where they just have like an individual realtor as a sponsor.
We first met, I was talking to you about this kind of thing. Can you indeed get a house with no money down? A lot of people say you can, a lot of people say you can't.
I've never had this conversation. I would say you shouldn't. Why would you? If you have no money to put down, why are you buying a house? But okay, let's see what the answer is. This compelling conversation. This is just a natural conversation between two dudes.
If you qualify.
No, his mic doesn't work.
There's a couple of different ways you can do it.
Turn the mic on.
Oh, man.
It is on.
It's on.
It is on.
Yeah, so if you qualify, you can. And,
Still doesn't work.
Like there's different kinds of loans you can do, like one of them is called like if you are a U.S. veteran, thank you, by the way.
So this is what the guests are. People who are pitching their shit. And it goes on for a while. I'm not going to play more of that for you. Don't worry. But Scorch decides to interrupt Holly because they're now going to skip a segment they were going to do to go right into another segment here, it's like, no, do some content. It's okay.
How many people do you think we can get to eat that frozen wiener?
I don't know, but I'll tell you what, Mike, we're going to skip
here,
the next segment. We're going to go right into the next sponsor break, okay? Are you ready for that? Okay, so why don't we do this? Why don't we give it up for Wicked Sweet Bake Shop? Let's hear it for Wicked Sweet. Hell yeah.
He goes, we're gonna skip the segment I had planned, and let's talk about the bake shop again. Hey, everyone has to cheer about the sponsor. He calls the sponsors the family. What he likes to say, yeah. So, all right. So coming back, he's coming back from one of these sponsor breaks, and he's talking about how the last place they were doing the show from, they're too big for now. And what's awkward is, like, he has a band on the couch that he's ready to interview.
Yeah, I can
and
tell.
He decides
crammed in there.
He decides not to talk to them. Watch how awkward this is.
Yeah. It is Scorch's PFG-TV. What a great crowd. Once again, you know what? I'm going to do something here. Mike, you don't have to do anything just yet. I want to bring up very quickly, Heather at Blue Marble Pub. Because I told Heather, when we left Blue Marble Pub, we didn't leave there. People have been asking, why'd you leave? Did you have her falling? We didn't have her falling out. As you can see, and listen to the crowd here. Make some noise. That's why. I mean, the place is a great place. I still swear by it. It's one of the coolest places in the area. These
guys have to just sit there awkwardly.
Yeah, I see them looking at each other like,
like, what are we doing? They're all tight in on this small couch, 4 dudes, pretty much making love.
Well, you know, it's funny too. It's like, you know, they keep introducing all these sponsors, but no one on this show has says, you know, maybe we should get a furniture sponsor and get a bigger couch.
Yes, right. Or maybe get a camera sponsor with a wide lens. Maybe we can do that too. All right. So finally, at the end of the show, the musical guest comes out. So it starts off kind of nothing, but I want to wait for the vocal to come in because I've never heard a vocal like this in my life. That's not real. That's not his real voice.
No, heck no.
He's making that shit up right there.
It's funny silly. When the guy doesn't even get their name right. So now they're starting off Luke Harper. Yeah, Luke Harper in the stints. How about that?
Yeah. All right, and then he brings up another guest. This Jim Davis from Davis Dogs is celebrating his 70th birthday. This is another sponsor, Davis Dogs, which are hot dogs, I guess.
I'm doing okay, man. How are you? How's your back?
Just fine.
Okay, good.
We missed you.
Ready? Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
So I think the happy birthday song is copyrighted, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So I think they had to interrupt him singing this on YouTube and pop this in. But this is great because they're looping it and they fucked up here.
Hey, it's your birthday. Happy birthday.
Oh my goodness!
Because Scorch had to go and do "How old are you now?" and that's also copyrighted.
Right. Yes.
Oh, jeez.
Fantastic. All right. So we're talking about all the family members who are sponsors to the show, and so I guess that they're these different sponsors are interacting with each other, and the CBD sponsor, who's now sitting on the couch and being interviewed, uses a swear, which is not good. This is going to be a network television show someday.
And you are good to go, you dig? Some of the family members that did that include Mad Computer.
You know, Mike Deckers actually stopped in this week.
That?
Yeah, and he said Scorch sent me a
Did he really?
motherfucker.
See?
Oh, it is groping bottle.
Watch the language, though, man. Watch the language. We have kids watching this show. And I know that like because anyway. Where are you, Matt? Hey, so what did Mike get from you?
Mike actually only got a couple things, but his girlfriend just got her nipples pierced next door.
I'm sure he wants everybody to know that.
So the guy goes, he's a motherfucker, And Scorch goes, listen, kids are watching this. I know that for a fact. Who, Devin and Alexandra? What children are enjoying this? What are you talking about?
Whose parents are punishing their kids?
Wee! Scorch is on! Scorch is on! Wee! Eat these SpaghettiOs and watch Scorch as you're going to bed.
What a classless guy that dude is, too. I mean, come on, really?
No shit.
You can't read it?
I have one more clip on here because normally Scorch just reads the ad copy for the sponsors. When he ad-libs, that's the best. And so this is Scorch ad-libbing for Mad Computers, who's ready to fix your computer problems.
Let's just say your computer's running slowly and you're sitting at home. You had a couple of cocktails. It's the middle of the night. You're going out to Pornhub.com and your computer crashes right in the middle of the most important part of the video. What do? You have to wait a few hours till they open up. You call Mad Computer, and he will then tell you, wow, you're a dirty person, but I'll clean your computer up. Mad Computer, Mike, thank you for being part of the show as well. We appreciate it. Yeah, we do love you.
What a great live read.
Can you imagine that? All right, let me do something everyone can relate to. So you're getting ready for the third guy to jizz on her face, and all of a sudden your computer crashes. Unbelievable. Also, you just switch to a different device when that happens. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
You only have one device to watch porn on? What's wrong?
iPads are for, dummy.
Yeah, what are you poor? What's going on over there? It doesn't make any sense.
Who are these podcasts? WA